Actually, they wanted Marco Rubio to come fill this spot, and he can't do everything. And they figured with a name like Chaffetz, that's close enough to being Hispanic, you know? You got 2 F's and a Z in his name. He's our Hispanic. Throw him out there. You laugh, but I'm telling you. I actually was under the impression that, maybe I was invited because I was an up-and-coming Republican, and then it turns out they were just looking for a way to save money on alcohol, invite the Mormon. Senator from Idaho isn't here, is he? All right, just make sure. I'm actually... I'm actually here with my wife, Julie. It's my only wife, Julie, over here at the same. I actually got into politics. I was in athletics. I was a place kicker on the BYU football team once upon a time. Really? Wow. I wasn't an actual football player. I was a place kicker. There's a difference. They touch me. They throw a flag. But it was when I missed a kick in an indoor game and I blamed it on the wind that I thought, now this, I can do politics. If I can sell that, I can be in politics. I'm actually freshly back from the Republican retreat. As you know, the Congressional Republicans held in Williamsburg recently. And when I was asked to go to the Republican retreat, I said, I thought we did that on November 6th, didn't we? I kind of already did that, don't we? I'm trying to fill the shoes of Speaker Boehner, who stood here previously. And as I was talking to Major Garrett before this event, he told me that when the speaker was asked to participate, he just lit up. His face just lit up. And I said, how could you tell? I'm actually here to share the platform. Pleased to be here with North Dakota's senator. I appreciate her comments. I'm from Utah. I'm not even tell this joke. This is awful. I'm going right to the next one. I was supposed to say God's chosen people. She's from North Dakota. God's frozen people. Thank you. I'm skipping that one too. I don't have any good Heidi jokes. Sorry. To those of you who actually cover Congress, I have to say it's tougher for the reporters on the Obama White House beat than it is for you. You don't have to show up at press conference an hour early to have for the president to give you a list of the questions you're going to ask. I should have skipped that one. I had a hunch the president was not going to be here tonight. Didn't want to interrupt that Wednesday night skeet shooting he's got going on. Actually, we all know that the Republicans are the minority in this town. It's quite amazing to consider all the groups in this country the Republicans are having trouble with these days. Women, Hispanics, gays, the disabled, Jews, Catholics, Newt Gingrich's ex-wives, and basically anybody who has never seen an episode of Murder, She Wrote. I mean, let's face it, the only advantage to being a Republican in this town is that you get to park in the handicap spaces. I don't know why the approval rating for the United States Congress is so bad. We haven't done anything. But I will say this for Republicans. We just keep on trying. Just the other day, for instance, there was a very high-level meeting. Group got together, strategized the ways that the party can improve its image and become more cutting edge, improve the coolness quotient of Republicans. And I'm not quite sure that so many of these ideas are actually going to work. Jim Sensenbrenner, for instance. That's all I have to do is say Jim Sensenbrenner, right? I don't even have to finish that joke. Coolness quotient and Jim Sensenbrenner. That has never been used in one sentence at one time. He suggested that he should be guest starring on an episode of Barney Miller. Orrin Hatch, of course. Orrin Hatch has a new 8-track tape out that he's marketing through Woolworths. Figures that once his appearance on Lawrence Welk hits the airwaves, people will just flock to Woolworths to get behind the Republican brand. John McCain has a new fragrance out that's going to be sold exclusively at Sears and Roebuck. And right as that happened, Lindsay, he just came running into the room and he said, I endorse it, I endorse it. You got to understand that we're dealing with a party whose Hollywood sex symbol is Pat Sajak. There's not a lot of material that we can go with here. Now, speaking of Hollywood, there are these days, of course, a lot of talks about the Academy Awards. I have not seen all the nominees, so it's hard to keep track of them, keep them straight. I am told that Django Unchained is not a dramatization of Ron Paul's newsletters. Life of Pi is not a biography of Governor Chris Christie. But one that I did see is about the Iranian hostage crisis. It deals with a group of Americans subject to abuse, mockery, and mass demonstrations by furious mob of radicals. Most people, we call it Argo. John Boehner calls that Tuesday conference. I hear we may soon have another movie star in Washington, D.C. Ashley Judd is considering a run against our own Mitch McConnell for a Senate seat in Kentucky. Apparently, her platform includes higher taxes, more Washington spending, and basically not posing any serious threat to President Obama's agenda, which has prompted the McConnell campaign to label her as a copycat. I love that joke. I thought that was fun. I'm still having a few flashbacks in the 2012 election. I probably spent as much time as anybody traveling across the country in support of Governor Mitt Romney, who I absolutely love. And I gotta tell you, every once in a while we come across Governor Romney, he's just a little bit wound down, but all you do, you just stick that thing in the back and just crank it back up. Good for another 48 hours. There's one thing that the media didn't know that happened. It was actually a real good piece of bipartisanship where the president and Governor Romney did spend one night together playing some Monopoly. And you got to understand, it's a little bit awkward when it came to picking their pieces. Of course, the president picked the battleship. Mitt Romney picked the car, and then the dog to go on top of the car. These people play a little bit differently because the president insisted every time they passed go, everybody had to give General Motors $200. According to Governor Romney, whenever you hit luxury tax, you had to buy a Tiffany's bracelet for Callista Gingrich. Actually, Mitt Romney was winning the game. Then out of nowhere, Chris Christie came running in and gave all of his properties to the president. Now, I know you're waiting for me to poke fun, make fun of the other party, and there's nothing the mainstream media loves more than to poke fun at the Democrats. I do have to give President Obama credit for one thing. Just when we've all pretty much decided that the president is the most arrogant man in Washington, he manages to remind us about John Kerry. And just when we've decided that John Kerry is the most arrogant guy in town, then the president brings back Chuck Hagel. Now, to those Republicans who would love to find some way to get back to President Obama, I just want you to picture that first cabinet meeting where you have Biden, Hagel, and Kerry all trying to speak at the same time. Surely after 4 years, the president will have suffered enough. I don't know what's going to happen in the 2016 race. I don't know what the Democrats are going to do, but for us, the GOP side of the race, there's probably no way we could do any worse than we did in 2012, but I'm sure we'll figure out a way to do it again. Listen, I appreciate it. It's a true honor to be here. I sat through this a couple times. I'm still new in this town. But it really is truly an honor. The things that have been done by this organization, the people have passed before you, passed before me, and that will come afterwards. I really support what you're doing and the support that you give. It is truly an honor and privilege to serve in the United States Congress. Still pinching myself that we get to be here and do this type of thing, and I appreciate the role that you play. God bless you, and may God bless the United States. Thank you.